was getting hard actually when I would go interview for jobs, because they'd say, oh, tell me about this cool moment or this cool experience. And then they'd say like, what do you do? Where do you fit? I said, I can fit anywhere, I can do anything, which is like, it's like a big red flag. And it wasn't until I got to LinkedIn and I went to my profile, and I encourage everyone to do this.
You're kind of nervous.
Oh, come on, this is gonna be fun.
You've had this massively impressive and also kind of windy career journey.
Very windy.
You were a war correspondent for CNN. You wrote speeches for the White House, and now you're Chief Economics Officer at LinkedIn. So I have two questions for you. Number one, how do you describe your role to someone who doesn't know what it is? And two, if you could go back to your career, what would you say is a through line for your career journey?
Well, so to describe the role, it's sort of my job as LinkedIn, as this moment unfolds with huge changes to work, to help sort of shape the global conversation around and the global response to those changes, so that we do create more economic opportunity for every member of the global workforce, and that's our vision. How I got this job, I think, is like instructive for all of us, because as you said, I've had a career that's like interesting but confusing. It's like all over the place, like war correspondent, speechwriter to Obama, growth guy, economic impact at Facebook, California governor, now in a made up title. And it was really hard for me to see whether there was a through line. For a while, I assumed there wasn't. And so it was getting hard actually when I would go interview for jobs, because they'd say, oh, tell me about this cool moment or this cool experience. And then they'd say like, what do you do? Where do you fit? And I said, I can fit anywhere, I can do anything, which is like, it's like a big red flag. And it wasn't until I got to LinkedIn and I went to my profile, and I encourage everyone to do this. I just started listing the skills I used in each job. So I was like, forget the job titles, like what did I actually do in each of these jobs? And almost instantly, it all started to mesh together as a through line, which is, I've always done explanatory storytelling. Like from my first days as a reporter to this interview, explain the complex simply. Then like when I left journalism, a big impulse at that moment was I don't want to just tell stories, I want to mobilize action around it. So coalition building became this skill set. And that's like business development and growth as much as policy advocacy and campaigns. And then I'd say about a decade ago, this issue, economic opportunity, for all sorts of reasons, I was like, this is my cause. This is like the issue I'm going to devote my life to. So now I can very quickly say, I'm someone who does explanatory storytelling to build coalitions around economic opportunity. And it's a very clear through line. And it means I can't work everywhere, because not everywhere do they have in the vision like the issue economic opportunity. But at a place like LinkedIn, at a moment like this, I have a very unique set of skills and capabilities. And I think that's what we all got to figure out right now in this new world of work.
Oh man, I love that so much. And it's kind of crazy when you finally have that aha moment. Wow, I found a place where my mission, my goals, my values all align. Because that is, I used to work at LinkedIn, right? We want to create economic opportunity for everyone. So like, how crazy is that?
And it's one of those, I think Steve Jobs had this line in that iconic Stanford speech, like you can't connect the dots looking forward. It only connects when you look back. And that's definitely true for me. If I think about this job, I would never have sought out this job 10 years ago, 20 years ago. I wouldn't have known what it is. I wouldn't have known why that was for me. And yet now that I'm in it, it is so perfectly built for me. And so I think that's the thing that everyone needs to think about. You're not gonna have a 10-year plan, you're gonna have a today plan. And as long as every day you're learning, you're growing, you're finding and fueling your core curiosities, you're honing and growing your core capabilities, everything else starts to sort of build around that, and then suddenly you end up in your mid-40s in this job that's like built for you.
Yeah, I love that so much. So clearly you and Ryan, you co-authored this book together, Open to Work, and I know how incredibly busy both of your schedules and your lives are, so I'm just curious, what was that motivating factor, that driving force to co-create this book, and why now?
Yeah, it's not a thing that either of us thought we'd ever do. And it's not a thing that most people are looking for tech companies to do, write a book, right? Everything right now is about short form content, quick take, hot take. A couple years ago, as everyone was in this place of great fear about what AI was gonna do to work, and a lot of people were guessing that humans were done at work, that it was just gonna be all AI everywhere, we started to realize like this is a big miss for humanity if we don't realize this isn't about AI, this is about what we're gonna do with AI. And so we started to piece together that a book was maybe the best way we could punch through, and that, Ryan is head of a platform with 1 billion members. Yeah. I mean, that's like 1/3 of the global labor market. I'm in this job out there talking to companies and policymakers and nonprofits, trying to get them to realize like this is a big opportunity if we're clear-eyed about the challenges, but also wide-eyed about the opportunities for humans. And it just became clear, like a book was required both to like talk about all the things we have to talk about, to get everyone aware of what's happening, aware of what to do about it, aware of how to take those first steps. And hopefully because of a book, you have this chance to really go out and shape the conversation. So that's what drove us, was really to help people, and a recognition that the conversation right now on AI and work feels unhelpful for people. It's really charged, it's really emotional, it feels really extreme. And I think if you're an everyday worker, you have no idea what to make of it. And you have every reason to be more afraid and more anxious every day, given what you're seeing.
This is a perfect segue to my next question, because the way that you lead the book is a quote that actually posts a lot about on LinkedIn, which is AI won't replace you, but someone who uses it likely will.
Yeah.
So I'm curious for you, like, what does that quote mean to you? Especially when I know a lot of people are getting the emotionally charged headlines, so it's going to make them feel a certain way. So I'd like to also hear from you. What are some ways that you would kind of give comfort to someone?
The book is not a how to AI book. It's a how to human with AI book. And so most of the book actually is about humans. It's about the human brain, which is the most amazing object in the known universe. It's about the human condition and what we're like in moments of big change and what we have to push through. And so when you hear that line, and I think a lot of people are recognizing that's a truth of the moment, that you've got to be using AI to get jobs and to keep jobs. First of all, that's not just about the AI part. It starts with just the human brain is wired to fear change, and it's not wired to get exponential change. So have some grace, some empathy for yourself. If you're afraid, if you're anxious, if you're any of those things, that is completely human. It's completely understandable. But then what we try to help you with the book understand is like that's unhelpful, because you've got to get in the game. You've got to start using these tools. And for anyone who hasn't used the tools yet or is worried about it and thinks that they're going to be more complicated than they can handle, what's amazing about AI is it's the easiest to use tool, I think, that like any of us will have ever encountered. It's easier than when you have to learn email or when you have to learn the latest editing software for whatever video you're doing. You know this because you're probably using it in your day-to-day. It's natural language. In the way that you talk to another person, you're talking to this tool. So just start. Just start and use it for something at work that you like least about your day. Ask it how it can help you with it. Try a bunch of different tools, see whose answer you like best. Or ask about something at home or in your life, like a exercise plan for the week, a meal plan for the week. Just start using it. And as you start using it, it completely demystifies AI. And I think that's like been the biggest hurdle for a lot of people with the adoption, is they think it's harder than it is. And then they don't know what it's going to lead to, and they're worried about it leading to AI replacing them. When instead it's going to reveal all these opportunities for you if you just start.
It's the mental hurdle more than anything, and the fear that I don't know this thing, but like you said, if you just start chipping away at it little by little. And I'm personally very curious, what are some of your go-to personal use cases and how you use AI at work?
I use AI more and more as a coach because I've invested in these tools over years now, context about who I am, what I'm trying to figure out, the stories I'm trying to build, the sort of growth I'm trying to achieve in my career. So the main use case I go is every day at some point I go gut check something. And I understand that this is not some amorphosized, like human-like tool giving me its unique perspective. What I think of AI is it's a mirror, and it's collecting every bit of context I'm giving it, and it's remembering every great thought I had, every important thought I had, every moment where I was like, okay, this is what I want to focus on. It recalls all that, it tracks all that, and so in any moment where I'm not able to have all of that going on all the time in my brain, I'm basically gut checking my thought against my own thinking. And so I use it a lot for like, should I do this? Should I do that? Where should this go? Where should that go? And then another place I use it a lot right now is summarizing stuff. So I'm voraciously consuming media, content, because I'm trying to, as best I can, actually stay on top of where the global conversation is on work. And so that's a lot. And so what I'm able to do is pull a lot of stuff, have it summarized, synthesized, pull out the key things, but I don't skip the reading. If there's something that stands out, I then go read like more fully the source doc and read the books behind it. Just finished 2 tiny experiments and little bets all about neuroscience and innovation and how it's all those small steps. So it's actually like opened up more desire and time to read full books because I'm chasing less of the day-to-day and I'm able to bring more like deliberate curiosity to the books. The last thing I'd say to remember, AI is going to help you with some stuff. It's also going to open up opportunity to get better at other human stuff. So when AI first came out, I write in my job, and that was the first real big red flag. This is a tool that can write. So immediately I started to sort of think about how this is going to play out, and we have in the book this 3-bucket framework for how we all should think about our jobs. What's the stuff AI is going to do on its own? Quick summaries, quick data analysis, quick first drafts. What are we going to do with AI? Take that market analysis and know what really resonates with our team or with our business or with our audience. And then the third is like the unique human to human stuff, sitting and doing an interview, giving speeches, building trust, building relationships, ethical judgment. So early in AI, I started to go to every Broadway show I could go to because I was like, these performers know what it is to sort of command energy in a room, to convince people.
Which AI can never.
It can't do because you have to know humans. You have to be human to be able to figure that stuff out. And so I use it for a bunch of stuff, and because I'm using it for that stuff, I'm also prioritizing the sort of learning and growth around the areas that it's not going to beat me at.
What you share is a harmonious balance
that's
of
right.
how you can use AI, but still do the things that bring you joy, and that's like something that you will never outsource.
Yes, and it's not even but still, it's like use AI so for the first time, you can really do these things that will bring you joy, fulfillment, and make you feel a sense of deeper self. Because, I mean, one of the things we talk about in the book is that the future of work is one where no one's going to beat you at being you. The past of work has leave you aside, come be mid-level marketer, manager, come be computer science software engineer, come comport yourself to job descriptions and to job categories that are meant to like combine us all into this predictable, stable way of work. So for centuries now, we've been sort of shedding our unique curiosities, our unique capabilities in order to fit the role we had at work. That all happened in an industrial age where it was all about efficiency. Every human was just part of more, better, faster. Assembly line, laptop. I mean, we have one data point in here from Microsoft. We get 100 emails a day or more. So we're all just like on an assembly line, sometimes all the time. AI is going to start to clear that space. And that means for the first time in generations, and for the first time ever for all humans, we're going to get to find work and build work that is more joyful and purposeful and grounded in who we uniquely are.
Ooh, and you stole my thunder because nobody beats you at being you. That was one of my favorite chapters.
Yeah.
And what do you believe is your unique superpower? So Aneesh's superpower.
It's funny, it's refining over time. I mean, for a long time I thought it was some form of communication, because if you're a reporter, speechwriter, doing external affairs, then it was more refined to explanatory storytelling with that sort of idea that you want to persuade, coalition building, all that. I think right now, in this moment, and this is where it sort of changes depending on what world you're in. In this moment, my superpower is that I feel like I'm trying to be the N of one in the world who has given the most thought and has the most belief into why everyone is amazing as they are, and humanity is going to come out the other end of this if we make the right choices better than ever before. Like such a credible, concrete, pro-human view of all of us, and not just some of us, all of us. And that's, I think, right now, the superpower I'm trying to hold on to, because I think that's this sort of necessary voice and necessary push that we need. In the book, we talk about these 5 C's: communication, courage, curiosity, creativity, and compassion. These are our best attempt to define like what is in the human brain at the intersection of EQ and IQ, of consciousness and conscience. And we think those can individually be honed, and all of us who are humans start with the ability to do those. And with what we know about neuroplasticity, we can all get better at those. But it's at the intersection of those that you start to become more like an entrepreneur at work, which is what we're really telling everyone to do. I think creators, by the way, are such a great role model for everyone. I mean, the number of creators and founders on LinkedIn is exploding over the past few years. And a lot of it is this, like, you got to think like an entrepreneur. You got to build a startup that's you. You know, as Reid Hoffman had a book, Startup of You. Yeah. And so we've all got to do that. And even if you're at a big company, all the employees have got to be mini entrepreneurs, and that company's got to be a massive startup. So these 5 C's help you, once you've got some AI fluency going and you've got a sense of the tools, really start to anchor in your unique capabilities as a human and then build from there.
I love that so much. That personally resonates with me because if I look at my success in my career, I've always believed that I had agency, and I'm realizing that people who will continue to thrive in this new era are the people who continue to believe that.
Yes, and I think we have to be empathetic to most folks and realize that the idea that you could have agency at work is a radically new idea. I think for most folks, like, you're trying to just get a job to get paid so you can, like, afford your life, build your family. At that job, it depends on what your boss expects you to do, what the job description expects you to do, how that company's doing, how that sector's doing. I think most folks haven't felt a lot of agency unless you got the right job title at Google and you're going to be fine because you get hired for that, or you got the right degree for Stanford and you're going to be fine because people hire for that. In this sort of pedigree economy that we had, it was really hard to feel agency unless you got those golden tickets. And I think what AI is going to do is sort of upend that in a really good way. But it all goes back to what we said earlier, that sort of in your brain, pushing past the fear and allowing yourself to have belief. Because agency extends out from, like, intent. You have to start with, I am going to do great things and I'm capable of doing great things.
Truly believe it.
Yes.
If you are applying the book's advice to your own career, what is one skill that you're learning? And you might be doing this already. And one skill or thought that you're unlearning.
It's, well, maybe this is a cheat. It's the same thing for both, which is curiosity. I can keep learning and I can keep sort of like talking to people about it, but it's sort of now up to humanity to decide. So there's a part of it where I have to now wait and watch. Especially as someone who's been so curious about this stuff and has been sort of out ahead for a couple of years, knowing what's coming, knowing where the conversation's gonna go. I'm finding that I'm having to, like, control my curiosity in a new way so that I'm more patient. Because when big change plays out, it doesn't play out quickly, easily, in one place at one time. It sort of just builds, almost like a wave in the ocean. So the curiosity has been and remains kind of my superpower. It's what allowed us to think about this, and Ryan's got this curiosity too, to keep saying, like, well, what's possible with AI, not what's left. Like, that's the thing that really drove us to get to all these reporting pieces on the brain and on, we've got anthropology in there, cultural ratcheting. But now calming my curiosity and also letting sort of things play out. Yeah, that's been the rub.
It's like being curious, but also how do you take a back seat to let things unfold naturally?
Yes, like, how do you become curious about something that is unfolding in real time in front of you? Because that doesn't, you can't just go read something, talk to someone, do something, build something. You've just got to let it play out. So that's what I'm learning. Calmness.
Calmness, yeah. I've been a little frustrated with my dad recently. It's like, don't you know all the things that are going on with AI? He's like, no. Should I read? So that's like the curiosity of me, but then also I have to let him find his own way of like being interested in this and applying it. I can't force it upon him.
That's right.
Excitement. And we're gonna look into the future.
Okay.
3 years from today, say it is 2029. What is still one idea that you're willing to bet money on that's like a bullish idea for you?
The humans are coming. I just think the idea.
I've never heard of that, but
not the robots. The humans are coming. So I am so pro-human, and really the reason I am is because I am so cynical about how work has worked to date for humans. Our brain is at least 40,000 years old. The brain we have, the ability for complex thought, the ability to be intrepid, adaptive, community-oriented, collaborative, to build nation states, to build a monetary order, to go to the moon. All of these things, we've had these capabilities for 40,000 years. It's only been like 300 years in the dawn of the industrial age that work has suddenly become about efficiency for us. And we're about to sort of like unburden us of that. And that's just gonna be an explosion, I think, of ideas from more humans in more places than ever before across more challenges than we've seen, economies deliver against. It's generally been enterprise productivity, consumer convenience. How about health? How about climate? There's going to be so much more innovation happening because AI makes it easier to learn and easier to build. So I am very bullish on humans. If we can get this story right, if we can get the start right, I think we have every opportunity to get to better, but none of this is inevitable. It's not already figured out by AI and we just don't know. It's going to be figured out by us and we're gonna go do it starting today. And right now I feel excited but also nervous that I'd like us all as humanity to get more aligned and committed, yeah.
We have this book out. Yeah. Is there anything that you want to share with the audience about this book?
Just know, this is meant to help you, no matter who you are. I mean, I guess if you give me the chance, I'll read the dedication.
Let's do it.
Because this is really like the whole thing. Our vision at LinkedIn is to create economic opportunity for every member of the global workforce. This book is dedicated to every member, to you in fact. No matter where you live or what you do, no matter what kind of job title you hold or what kind of career trajectory you're on, this book is for you, about you, and how nothing, not even AI, can beat you at being you. So March 31st, it goes on sale now. You can pre-order, and I hope everyone gets it, and I hope everyone finds something helpful in it.